So I don't know if you guys remember, but last year Netflix gave us that Vanessa Hudgens masterpiece of cinema, The Princess Switch, which is also getting a sequel sometime in 2020, and you better believe I'm gonna be there day one. But Christmas 2019 is bringing us a lot of things no one asked for. Most importantly, it's giving us proof that you can take one dad joke and turn it into an entire movie. And so, for my annual Vanessa Hudgens Christmas video this year, I thought I'd take a look at the new Netflix movie, The Night Before Christmas. And I'll tell you right now, I've been waiting for this one. But before that, really quick, this video is brought to you by Honey. Now, if you don't know what Honey is, then you probably don't watch as many YouTube videos as I do, but still, Honey is a browser extension that finds and uses online shopping promo codes to get you the best price available for just about anything you could want to buy. It works on over 20,000 different sites, including all the big ones like Amazon, Etsy, eBay, Wayfair, Target, Sephora, just almost anything really. Now, I don't know if you're aware or not, but the winter holiday season's coming up real quick here. You got Black Friday, Cyber Monday, Hanukkah, winter solstice, Christmas, New Year's, that's a lot of stuff to buy. And whether you're buying something for someone else or guilting them into buying you something, Honey can get the best price available. Go to joinhoney.com/Alex Meyers and you can install Honey in just 2 clicks, real quick and easy, and start saving money immediately. Like here, I went to the Bath & Body Works website and I did that thing where I was originally just gonna get a couple hand soaps and then all of a sudden I look like a hoarder, you know what I mean? And right before checkout, Honey found like 9 different promo codes and tried them all for me to get me the best deal. It even tells you if the sale price of something is actually worth it or not. Like here, I'm on the Macy's website buying this Martha Stewart quilt because I'm in my 30s and this is my life now, and it lets me know exactly how good of a deal I'm really getting. So if you want to save money anytime, but especially this season, head on over to joinhoney.com/Alex Meyers, install the extension with just 2 clicks, like I said, and start saving today. Okay, back to the show. So the movie starts out in Bracebridge, Ohio, where we meet our first main character, Brooke Winters. Yeah, you get it, because it's a Christmas movie. So Brooke is a high school science teacher who likes to Mr. Feeney her way into her students' lives and teach the kind of lessons that you don't find in the textbooks, you know what I'm saying?
You've always been an A student, Paige, which is why your midterm results have me a bit perplexed. What happened?
Grayson broke up with me.
Well, yeah, that's what you get for dating a guy named Grayson. What, you kidding me? I mean, seriously, any kid named Grayson or Hunter is either trying to be a TikTok star or really wants to show you his Yu-Gi-Oh cards. Anyway, so after hearing this, Brooke tries to comfort this heartbroken student with some good old life advice.
You know, we all grow up fantasizing about being a princess and finding true love with a knight in shining armor and living happily ever after.
You know, I always think it's funny when you hear girls talk about their dream guy or whatever. They get their notebooks and their like 27 different colored gel pens and it's like, okay, so I want the face of Harry Styles, the voice of Harry Styles, and the hair of Harry Styles. Yeah, you know what, Jessica? I think you're right. Maybe I do have a problem. But when I was in high school, you know, I didn't ask for much. I just wanted a girl who was, you know, completely obsessed with me, wanted to play video games all day, and looks like Mimi from Digimon Season 2. I mean, come on, is that too much to ask? Anyway, so after this, Brooke heads off to pick up her niece and take her to some place called the Christmas Castle, which is basically just a carnival with a Christmas theme, oddly enough. And of course, being this kind of place, parents from all around bring their kids to come hang out with some random old guy in pajamas.
Aw, aren't you fresh? What would you like for Christmas this year, young lady?
A real puppy, not a stuffed animal this time.
Mrs. Claus and I'll take it under advisement.
Oh, and one more thing. Can you bring my Aunt Brooke a new boyfriend? Someone really nice. He won't cheat on her.
Now, the reason she says this, besides, you know, being a kid with no boundaries, is because just like 5 minutes earlier, Brooke saw her ex-boyfriend just kind of walking around with her, of all people, you know, just being all happy and stuff. So after this, they head off to go get some hot chocolate, and right after they do this, Brooke accidentally bumps into a certain someone.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
What is this delicious meat?
It's hot chocolate. Let me help. I'm really so sorry.
It's no harm done.
Oh,
Yeah, so as you might expect, Brooke gets all like over this guy because he's got a cool accent and a visible jawline covered in stubble. Anyway, so Brooke apologizes, and right after this, her niece's mom, aka her sister, shows up and takes the little girl home, which leaves Brooke to drive all by herself in a snowstorm. And wouldn't you know, she just so happens to bump into that same guy from before. And by bump into, of course, I mean she runs him over with a car. So Brooke and the police take him to the hospital, and here's where the story finally kind of starts to get going.
How is he?
Not a scratch on him. Luckily, he was wearing the armor. Scans came back clear.
Oh, thank goodness.
I survived your tube of torture.
MRI machine. Apparently, Sir Cole believes that he's a 14th century knight.
Now, in case you didn't catch that because he was whispering for some reason, this guy apparently really believes that he's a knight from the 14th century. But you know, you could solve this real quick because, I mean, if he's really from the 1300s, all you gotta do is just ask how he still has so many teeth and why he hasn't died from like 10 different diseases since he got here. Anyway, so this guy named Sir Cole, apparently, thanks Brooke for helping him by doing this.
Sir Cole Christopher Frederick Lyons of Norwich. At your service, Lady Brooke.
And of course, Brooke's just standing there like, yeah, okay, this getting kind of weird, but you know, for a chin like that, I'm prepared to look past a lot of things. So Sir Cole gets checked out by the hospital and Brooke, you know what I'm saying? And turns out everything's fine, but he has nowhere to stay for the night.
You are not sleeping under a tree when I have an empty guest house you can stay in.
And so Brooke ends up bringing the guy she just hit with her car over to her house so they can have a little spin the bottle slumber party, I guess. And hopefully not wake up to this guy like sniffing her hair or something. But like, can you really blame her though? Because I mean, who wouldn't want to wake up till this first thing in the morning? Anyway, so they head on over to her giant Ohio mansion, and the fish out of water story continues.
So you're really from England?
Indeed, I hearken from Norwich. I was knighted by King Edward III 6 Christmases past.
Well, first thing I think we should do is update your wardrobe by at least a few centuries. I'm sure I can find something my ex-boyfriend left lying around.
Okay, well, gee, you think you could ruin the mood any faster there, Brooke? I mean, you bring home this One Direction looking dude for the night, and the first thing you say is, hey, you want to cosplay as my ex-boyfriend? I mean, I thought I was bad that time I met a girl who said she loved movies, and I was like, oh, well, you should see how many Space Jam DVDs I have. Anyway, so the next little bit of the movie is just that thing these kinds of movies do where Cole has his mind blown by everything in the world, you know, like hamburgers and TVs and women in pants. But we also get a little look into Sir Cole's backstory. So in 1300s England, this guy was a knight, hence the clever name of the movie, and one day he found this old witch just kind of hanging out in a forest, like witches do, I guess.
There's no time to be outside without shelter. You can ride my horse.
The quest you have searched for long and hard these many years begins this day.
Where exactly will this quest lead me?
Your destiny. Heed this warning. If you fail to fulfill your quest before midnight on Christmas Eve, you shall never become a true knight.
And then she sends him forward to 2019 and gives him like 6 days to do whatever he's supposed to do, or else, you know, something might happen to him, maybe? Yeah, I'm not really sure what the stakes are exactly in this movie, but whatever. You know, it's a Christmas movie about Vanessa Hudgens falling in love with a guy with a stubbly chin. Like, what more could you possibly want? So later on, after we all get to know each other a little bit, Cole and Brooke are out getting a Christmas tree, and Cole cuts it down in one swing because he's a
Kinda sorta manly dude.
And after this, we learn a little bit more about Brooke's ex-boyfriend and what happened with all that.
Might I ask you a personal question regarding your dalliance with the douche?
James?
Well, just how serious was it? Because if he broke your betrothal and ruined you, I believe it is my quest to see him run through.
Truth is, I kind of knew he wasn't the one. I just kept hanging around hoping he would grow into the man I wanted him to be.
You know, this is something I really struggled with for a long time. Like, I would get so caught up in the fantasy of what this person could do or be in the future that I always lost sight of who they were in the moment. And for some reason, it took me a really long time to understand that you're not dating the 5 years in the future version of them. You're dating who they are right now. So you gotta figure out if that's really what you're looking for. Anyway, so the movie continues on. Brooke and Cole spend time together and getting a little more familiar. And Brooke's starting to wonder if maybe this guy really did actually magically time travel.
He is pretty convincing.
I'm sure once he gets his memory back, we'll figure out that he's just a medieval enthusiast.
What if Cole really is who he says he is? Like, what if there are things beyond our comprehension?
So the next day, Cole's up bright and early, just beating the heck out of Brooke's lawn decorations, when Brooke's neighbor shows up and starts getting kind of hammer with Cole over here. Now, it turns out Brooke really doesn't like this person, and she has a perfectly good reason why.
Lady Allison seems to have you green with envy.
Okay, first off, she ain't no lady. In high school, she was voted biggest flirt.
Well, it sure is good to know that both of you have definitely grown up since then and have not been holding a grudge for like the last 10 years, okay? I mean, that would be pretty pathetic. But she's got nothing to worry about, okay? Because Cole over here is the main love interest in a rom-com, and we all know what that means.
A knight always keeps faith. It's part of our code.
What else is part of your knight's code?
A knight is sworn to valor and virtue.
I'm going to need as much help as I can get to pull off this year's Christmas Eve feast.
I am at your service day or night.
You know, as a guy who watches way too many rom-coms, this is the trope that always cracks me up the most. Like, according to these types of movies, every woman's fantasy guy is someone who has no hobbies or interests, and all he ever wants is just to hang out with you. And like, that by itself is bad enough, but Brooke also pretty much has no quirks or hobbies or anything either. I mean, her entire personality is a girl who got cheated on. I mean, this whole movie is really just about like two late 20-something adults who just kind of exist. I mean, it's riveting stuff, I tell you what. Anyway, so flashing forward a little bit, Brooke and Cole are getting ready for that big Christmas Eve dinner thing. And Cole starts making some of that medieval bread, you know, that tastes like licking a chalkboard. And Brooke uses the old classic trick where she pretends like she has no idea what she's doing.
But the dough will fail to rise if you continue to rest it like a dragon slayer. See? Not so difficult.
No.
It works every time. And so the movie goes on like this, you know, Cole and Brooke keep having these like will they, won't they moments, and Brooke's niece falls in a lake and dies or something. I don't know, whatever. Anyway, so then it's Christmas Eve. Now, over the course of the whole movie so far, Cole's been trying to figure out what exactly the witch's riddle meant.
Remember, you have until midnight, the eve of Christmas, to fulfill your quest.
What exactly is my quest?
Open your eyes. You'll find it right in front of you.
And so he tries to help people, and he gives a bunch of presents to a less fortunate family, and just like everything he can think of, but nothing seems to be working, and it's already Christmas Eve, so what you gonna do? Now, after the big dinner feast thing is over, Cole just kind of walks up to Brooke, and he's like, hey, so you wanna do some kissing? And Brooke's just like, yeah, okay, sure, whatever. And this is the emotional climax of the movie.
You summoned me, sire?
From what I gather, it's bad luck if a couple don't kiss once they find themselves underneath it.
Oh, well, it's probably just some silly old wives' tale. But why risk it?
Now, remember way back at the beginning of the movie when the witch handed Cole this, like, medallion thing or whatever? Well, after he and Brooke do their thing, the medallion lights up because Cole finally solved the puzzle. That's right, everybody. The witch in the forest sent Cole 700 years in the future just so he could make out with a high school science teacher. It's 10 out of 10. Greatest Christmas movie ever made. But of course, now that his quest is over, he has to travel back to his own time. So I guess this was all just one big prank on Brooke or something? Okay, Merry Christmas.
No matter what, no matter where I am, I hereby pledge my service to thee. Fare thee well.
Goodbye, Sir Cole.
And so, yeah, you know, love is a lie. Thanks for watching, everybody. But anyway, so the next day is Christmas morning. Brooke is staying with her sister and brother-in-law, and when they wake up in the morning, they find a little something Christmas something.
Merry Christmas!
You'll never believe what Santa brought me.
A puppy. Yeah, you don't happen to know anything about this, do you?
No, why?
Because neither do we, which means there's no explanation.
Just because you can't explain something logically doesn't mean it can't happen.
Yeah, totally different thing there, Brooke, okay? I mean, this isn't one of those Christmas miracles where you finally meet a guy who knows how to clean his own bathroom or whatever, okay? Someone put a dog in a sock, Brooke! So after opening more presents, they all head on back to the Christmas castle once again, and guess who shows up right at the end of the movie?
Cole, I thought you were gone.
Brooke, I should have realized sooner. But you were my quest. And my heart is eternally and devotedly yours.
I can't believe you came back for me.
Wherever you are, it's the only place I want to be.
What? Really? You're choosing to stay in Ohio? On purpose? Yeah, so turns out when Cole went back to his time, he went and found the old witch in the forest again because he realized that he just couldn't be away from Brooke for one more second. And he begged her to send him back to 2019 so he could be with her.
Oh, Crone! I have need of you! I beg thee, Crone, whatever it is that you desire, I will do. If you help me return to my truest love.
Very well.
Yeah, so the moral of the story is that if you're looking for true love, just start hitting people with cars and something's bound to work out eventually. But like, real talk for a second, nothing really happens in this movie at all. Like, there's no conflict, no villain, no nothing. I mean, Brooke has this great life and then it just gets better. And like, the only kind of sort of negative thing, I guess, is like her neighbor flirts with Cole one time, or she regrets not throwing her ex-boyfriend's body in a barrel of acid. Or then there's Cole, who's given this like special quest or whatever, but whether he succeeds or fails, the result is the same anyway. Like, if you can't finish finish the quest, he won't be a true knight and he'll be stuck in the future forever, which is where he ends up anyway, so what is the witch trying to prove exactly? Unless her master plan or whatever is to use boring, attractive women from the future to get rid of all the knights one by one so she can take over the castle and... maybe that's what the movie's really about. You know, when I was watching this movie, I kept comparing it to The Princess Switch, right? Because that was Vanessa Hudgens' most recent Christmas movie before this one. Princess Switch is one of the cheesiest movies you're ever going to see in your life. But at the very least, the characters had very clear-cut objectives and, like, reasons for doing what they're doing. You know, like, she has a baking competition, and then the Duchess is getting married, but she doesn't know what, like, real life is like, and so they end up switching. You know, I mean, the story's kind of nonsense, but at the very least, you understand what the characters are doing and why. With this movie, I mean, just the whole time I was watching it, it was just like why, what are they doing and why are they doing anything? It's like, I mean, at the beginning, Cole gets this quest where he's supposed to become a true knight, which we never learn like what that means or why he would want to become that in the first place. Like, not that it's like a bad, unwatchable mess, but it's just, I don't know, it's like watching an episode of like The Kardashians or something where like things are happening, but also nothing happens, you know what I mean? I mean, it's not like a bad movie, but it's just like, it's I don't know, it's just like you're watching these two people meet and then they date and then there's no issue or problem with their relationship, like basically whatsoever, except at the very end he has to go back to his time, but then it doesn't matter anyway, and so like, okay, great. Sometimes I see these movies on Netflix or other places, but recently Netflix a lot, where you just kind of like, how did this get made exactly? You know, like, it's the same with like Tall Girl or like any of these kind of rom-coms. Like, sometimes they have good stuff. Like, I think To All the Boys I Loved Before is actually not that bad. Tall Girl and Kissing Booth and Sierra Burgess, and then this movie, not that this is a teen rom-com, but I just mean, you know, they put out these like rom-coms for various ages that are nonsense. Like, it's not even so much as cheesy and dumb, but it's just kind of bafflingly nonsensical, you know? I mean, I love it. I mean, I'm here for every single one of these. You better believe me right now, but still. Anyway, thanks so much for watching, everybody. Don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to ring that bell so you don't miss any videos from me. Follow my dog Charlie on Instagram, Charlie Meets Pumpkin. Follow me on Twitter. Let me know what's your favorite part of the video, or just say hi, that's fine too, or let me know what video I should do next. And above all else, everybody have a great day, and I'll see you all next time.